The Forbidden Middle, Episode 5, Under Observation, Part 1. By Eric Shaw, Lex returns to the divided surface under a counterfeit identity, tasked with rescuing his mother and uncovering the truth. But as the Resistance hack triggers, everyone must face who they really are beneath the badge.
The badge is the eye, the hand, and the voice of the division,
Marcus said, adjusting the gray fabric draped over Lex's chest.
but today we make it live for us.
48 hours after fleeing his red zone apartment, Lex stood in the underground headquarters beneath the old subway tunnels. His original badge, the one that had exposed his forbidden gray tendencies, lay disassembled on a workbench nearby. In its place, Marcus had fitted him with a prototype, a counterfeit badge that could project any alignment reading they chose.
It's experimental,
Marcus added, his fingers dancing across a tablet that controlled the device.
but it should get you past the outer perimeter scanners.
Lex studied the replica against his chest. It pulsed with a perfect, unquestioning red light, a more convincing red than he'd managed even before his classification crisis.
How long will it hold?
90 minutes, maybe less, in high-security zones.
Marcus replied.
The university's security grid is state-of-the-art. Once you're inside, their systems will probe deeper than the facade can handle.
From across the room, Maya approached, her own badge now modified to display blue credentials. The disguise suited her, hair pulled back, posture straighter, clothing falling in the sustainable fabrics favored in blue districts.
We just received confirmation,
She said.
Dr. Crane is scheduled to present her research at the Reconciliation Hall at 1500 hours. It's a joint symposium, one of the rare cross-alignment academic events.
Which means security from both sides.
Lex said, feeling the weight of what they were attempting. Maya nodded.
Red enforcement and blue compliance forces. And rumor has it that Director Pierce himself will attend.
The mention of Pierce sent a jolt through Lex. The director of Red Enforcement had been hunting him since his badge first revealed gray readings. The man would certainly recognize him, counterfeit badge or not.
And my father?
Lex asked, the question he'd been avoiding since they formulated this plan. Maya and Marcus exchanged glances.
Security detail,
Marcus finally answered.
He's assigned to your mother's protective escort.
The irony twisted in Lex's stomach. His father, the Red Enforcement officer who had chosen alignment over family during the division, now assigned to guard the wife he had abandoned. The system's cruel poetry was never subtle.
The division doesn't know they're still connected.
Maya said, her voice softening slightly.
They've maintained operational separation for years.
Lex absorbed this.
Does she know I'm coming?
No.
Maya said firmly.
Too risky. The fewer people who know, the better chance of success, even if she's sympathetic.
She is,
Lex interrupted.
Even so,
Maya continued.
her badge would register emotional spikes if she knew. We can't risk it.
Marcus checked his watch.
Transport leaves in 20. Let's review the operation once more.
He gestured to a holographic display showing the university's layout. The Reconciliation Hall glowed in the center, one of the few structures specifically built to accommodate both alignments. Half the building reflected Red's angular architecture, the other half curved into Blue's organic forms. The division line ran precisely down the middle.
Entry is the easy part. Your counterfeit credentials will get you past the outer perimeter as students attending the symposium.
Marcus explained.
Lex, you'll approach from the red entrance. Maya from the blue. Your separate arrivals minimize pattern recognition by the security algorithms.
The hologram zoomed in on the interior seating.
Your mother will be here.
Marcus continued, highlighting the speaker's platform. Presenting her research on pre-division educational systems, its controversial work, the kind that gets her extra scrutiny, hence the enhanced security detail.
Including my father,
Lex said, the words feeling strange in his mouth.
Yes. Damon Crane will be positioned stage left, near the red emergency exit.
Maya took over, pointing to a service corridor behind the auditorium.
The extraction point is here. When the alarm triggers, security will implement standard evacuation protocols. They'll escort your mother through this corridor to the secure transport area. You'll intercept them here.
She indicated a junction where the corridor split between red and blue sections.
What causes the alarm?
Lex asked. Marcus smiled thinly.
That's where the badge network vulnerability you discovered comes in. We've modified the exploit to create a cascade failure in the university's security grid. Every badge in the building will simultaneously register alignment fluctuation, as if everyone present has suddenly gone gray.
Mass panic,
Lex realized.
Precisely,
Marcus said.
In the confusion, security protocols will fracture as red and blue forces each try to secure their own people. That's your window. 60 seconds to reach your mother and present her with the choice to come with you.
And my father. Maya's expression hardened.
That's the variable we can't control. When he sees you, a son he reported as a gray sympathizer, trying to extract your mother, he'll have to make a choice. Report you or help you. We'll know definitively where his loyalties lie.
Lex stared at the hologram, tracing the path he would take through the divided architecture.
And if he chooses the division over family again?
Then we have contingencies,
Marcus said, not elaborating further. A silence fell over the planning room, broken only by the distant rumble of subway trains overhead, a world continuing its divided existence, unaware of the resistance growing beneath its feet.
It's time,
Maya finally said.
The transport will take us to separate drop points. We won't see each other again until the operation is underway.
Lex nodded, suddenly aware of the weight of the counterfeit badge against his chest. He'd spent his entire adult life trying to be the perfect red citizen, suppressing any gray tendencies, any thoughts that might betray his true nature. Now he was deliberately walking back into the heart of the surveillance state that had nearly destroyed him.
Remember,
Marcus said,
the goal is extraction, not confrontation. Get your mother, make the offer, and exit through the underground access point. The resistance network will handle the rest.
As they moved toward the transport area, Maya pulled Lex aside.
This isn't just about your mother,
She said quietly.
The research she's presenting today, it contains coded historical data about the real causes of the division. If the authorities realize what she's actually documented, she'll face correction or worse. This extraction was coming with or without you.
The realization settled over him.
She's been working against the system all along.
From within it.
Maya confirmed.
Like father, like son, both of you hiding in plain sight.
My father isn't.
Isn't what, Gray?
Maya raised an eyebrow.
We'll see today, won't we?
The University of American History dominated the border zone between red and blue territories, one of the few institutions permitted to span the division line. Its split architecture made it appear as if two entirely different buildings had been fused together. The red half all right angles and reinforced concrete, the blue half undulating glass and sustainable materials. Lex approached from the red side, his counterfeit badge pulsing with perfect loyalty. He'd borrowed the identity of a graduate student, complete with academic credentials and registration for the symposium. The outer perimeter scanner swept over him as he passed through the security checkpoint.
Purpose of visit?
The red guard asked mechanically.
Attending the Historical Methodology Symposium,
Lex replied, mimicking the clipped precision of red academic speech.
Dr. Crane's presentation on pre-division educational systems.
The guard's expression remained neutral, but his eyes narrowed slightly.
Controversial topic.
All history contains valuable lessons in alignment,
Lex responded with the standard red academic phrase. The guard nodded and waved him through. The counterfeit badge had passed its first test. Inside, the university hummed with controlled academic activity. Students moved in alignment-appropriate patterns, red students in orderly lines and structured discussion groups, blue students in collaborative circles and organic formations. The dividing line between territories was marked by a 3-meter neutral zone where neither alignment ventured. Lex made his way to the reconciliation hall, following the route they had memorized. The massive auditorium was filling with attendees, strictly segregated by alignment. Red citizens sat in precise rows on the left side, blue citizens in curved seating arrangements on the right. Armed security personnel from both alignments lined the walls, watching for any cross-alignment interaction. As Lex took his assigned seat in the red section, he scanned the room for Maya. He spotted her entering from the blue side, now completely transformed in appearance and bearing. If he hadn't known to look for her, he would never have recognized his fellow resistance member. His gaze moved to the stage. His mother would soon stand at that podium, the first time he would see her in person since their brief, dangerous meeting days earlier. The meeting that had changed everything. Then he saw his father. Damon Crane stood at attention near the left stage exit, his red enforcement uniform immaculate, his badge glowing with unwavering loyalty. His face was exactly as Lex remembered, stern, controlled, the embodiment of red discipline. But there was something in his posture, a nearly imperceptible tension, that suggested more was happening beneath the surface. Lex forced himself to look away before his attention became suspicious. The counterfeit badge against his chest seemed to grow warmer, a reminder that its deception had limits. 90 minutes, Marcus had said. The clock was already ticking. The lights dimmed as the symposium began. A university administrator, wearing the neutral gray permitted only for academic leadership, welcomed the segregated audience and outlined the discussion protocols. No cross-alignment questions would be permitted. All responses would be filtered through alignment-appropriate frameworks. Then his mother walked onto the stage. Professor Lex Crane moved with the measured grace of someone accustomed to being observed. Her blue clothing was conservative by alignment standards, a subtle rebellion in itself. Her badge glowed steady blue against her chest as she approached the podium. Lex felt a surge of emotion seeing her. The last time they'd spoken face-to-face had been during his childhood, before the division tore their family apart. Their recent covert meeting had been too brief, too dangerous for real connection.
Today we examine education systems before the division,
She began, her voice carrying the precise modulation of someone who knew exactly how to speak without triggering badge alerts.
Understanding how knowledge was transmitted provides insight into why the rupture became inevitable.
Lex watched his father as his mother spoke. Damon's expression revealed nothing, but his eyes never left Eliza, not scanning the crowd as security protocol would dictate, but fixed on his former wife with an intensity that contradicted his perfect red posture. On his wrist communicator, Lex saw the timer Marcus had synchronized. 20 minutes until the system breach. 20 minutes until every badge in the building would simultaneously malfunction. His mother's presentation continued, masterfully walking the line between permitted academic discourse and forbidden historical truth. To untrained ears, she was simply analyzing educational methodologies. But Lex, now attuned to the underground's coded communication, heard the subversion beneath her words. She was describing how the seeds of the division had been planted decades before the rupture, not by citizens' genuine ideological differences, but by powerful interests who benefited from societal fracture.
The alignment-based curricula that emerged in the 2020s,
She continued,
represented not divergent truth values, but strategic information control.
A red official near the stage shifted uncomfortably. Eliza smoothly adjusted her phrasing.
Which effectively prepared citizens for the optimized social organization the division would later provide.
she said, nodding deferentially to the red side of the audience. 10 minutes. Lex glanced at his timer, his pulse quickening. His gaze drifted to the security forces positioned throughout the auditorium. They were more numerous than expected, and he noticed several wore the distinctive insignia of BPOC, the bipartisan oversight committee that hunted gray classifications. This wasn't just standard security for a controversial academic presentation. They were expecting something. The realization hit him with cold certainty. This was a trap. Somehow they knew. Perhaps not the specific plan, but they knew some gray action was targeted at this event. His eyes found Maya across the divide. Her posture remained perfectly blue, but he could see from the tightness around her eyes that she'd reached the same conclusion. 5 minutes.
The transition to separate educational systems,
His mother was saying.
coincided with the growing influence of
She faltered, almost imperceptibly. Her eyes had found Lex in the audience. Recognition flashed across her face for just a fraction of a second before her academic training reasserted control. But it was enough. Her badge registered an emotional fluctuation, minor but noticeable on the monitoring displays visible to security personnel. Lex's father immediately tensed, his attention suddenly sweeping the crowd, following the direction of his former wife's momentary glance. 3 minutes. Damon's eyes locked with Lex's. Time seemed to suspend as father and son stared at each other across the crowded auditorium. Damon's expression shifted through micro-expressions only a family member could read. Shock, recognition, calculation, decision. Then, with deliberate slowness, Damon reached up and adjusted his badge, a seemingly routine gesture, but one that Lex recognized from childhood. It was their old signal from before the division. It meant, "I see you. Be ready." 1 minute. His mother had recovered her composure and continued speaking, but security was now on heightened alert. 2 BPOC officers were conferring near the main entrance. Another was scrutinizing the badge monitoring displays more carefully. Lex's counterfeit badge vibrated against his chest, a warning that its deception was being tested by deeper scanning protocols, and about to fail. 30 seconds. A BPOC officer was moving through the red seating section now, clearly searching for something, or someone. Another officer mirrored the movement on the blue side, approaching Maya's position. 15 seconds. Lex caught his father's eye again. Damon gave an imperceptible nod, then began moving slowly toward Eliza at the podium, as if responding to a security concern. 10 seconds. The BPOC officer was 3 rows away now, badge scanner in hand. 5 seconds. His mother paused mid-sentence, her eyes again finding Lex in the crowd. This time she didn't look away. 0. Every badge in the auditorium simultaneously flickered and went dark. For one breathless moment, the entire room was plunged into silence as the omnipresent glow of alignment indicators vanished from hundreds of chests. Then, a chair scraped violently across the floor. Someone shouted,
"Compliance breach!"
A red officer's voice cut through the silence.
Maintain alignment positions.
Then chaos erupted. Next, in the chaos of the badge blackout, Lex confronts his father's true loyalties while fighting to extract his mother from converging red and blue forces. As the trio navigates a perilous escape through abandoned tunnels beneath the university, they uncover devastating truths about the division's origins and the price Damon Crane has secretly paid to protect his family from within the system.